Let's just have a look at the toolbar over here. On the left hand side, we can certainly click on the double-headed arrow and we have the single column toolbar, or we can change that by clicking on the double-headed arrow and we have a twin column toolbar. When we're looking at a general workspace to begin with, we'll go and look at Window, we look at Workspace, and we want to select Essentials Classic, which will reveal a lot more of the tools. Let's go to Essentials Classic. So what is a workspace? A workspace is a collection of panels that Adobe recommend you may want to use when accomplishing certain tasks. For example, if we're going to look at another workspace, if we're going to be working with typography, we'd go to the window menu, we would select Workspace and we would select Typography. This would now reset our panels to give us the suggestions that Adobe give us with the tools that we may want to use if we're laying out some typography. We also can go and look at different workspaces, such as if we're doing printing and proofing. And here are all the panels that they recommend you may want to use should you be doing printing and proofing. Having dealt with the bleed, let's have a look at the Pages panel. If you're not seeing the Pages panel, we navigate to the window menu and we select Pages. I always suggest in lectures that having the Pages panel open in Adobe InDesign is as important as having the Layers panel open in Photoshop. We need to see where we're working. We can see here that we have our green rectangle on the page. This line over here is the spine where the document will be bound or where it will be folded. It is very important to note that depending on your binding method of your final print product, we need to determine how many pages our document will contain. If we're going to print, for example, a document that will be saddle stitched, we need to print in multiples of 4. Saddle stitching is where there are staples through the spine, and having 4 pages or even 8 pages will allow double spreads to be stitched together. This is page number 1. Double click on page number 2. Double click on page number 3, number 4. These are facing pages. We can see that pages 2 and 3 are facing pages. Another very important point to note is that when we select the print option for a new document, your raster effects of your document are set at 300 pixels per inch in the CMYK color mode, which is what we're wanting. But we look at that in more detail in further lectures. What we need to do as designers is to question our clients before putting a document together. We need to find out primarily their binding method so that we can ascertain how many pages we need to add to this document. Let's say, for example, we're going to create a document that is intended for wire binding. Well, then there's firstly no need for double spreads, and there's no need to adhere to any amount of pages. Let's go and check that out. Let's go to create a new file. What we can see here is it's referring to our latest 210 by 297, which is A4 page. Right, let's go and change things around a bit. When you're creating an ebook or an EPUB, you don't necessarily want to have facing pages. Let's look at what the difference is. I'm going to untick facing pages. Let's make this 8 pages. Let's change the columns. We've seen what one column does. Let's change the columns to 3. Let's leave the bleed at 5mm. And let's take away the slug. 0 tab. Now you can see we have more of a magazine or a newspaper layout where we have 3 columns. We still have our bleed, but looking in the Pages panel, we have single pages. Perfect for wire binding. Should you be doing a mobile app design, You don't know the user experience. You don't know which pages they're going to be navigating to. They may be on page 1, they may then go to page 6, they may then come back to page 2. So we just don't know. But primarily in this instance, we've designed it this way so that you can wire bind this document.